Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1985's Teen Wolf. Before we get started, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us at Kiss the Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you want to subscribe for exclusives abound on Patreon, you can go to Patreon and just search Kiss the Reviews. You'll be able to find us there. It's a couple of bucks to subscribe there. We have a few different tiers, starting from the, hey, you get the reviews, you get some pre-show content and our little banter back and forth before the show, and you also get the clips of the movie. So that it starts there for a couple of bucks, all the way up to tier 3, which you get exclusive merch every few months while you're a subscriber, stickers, mini prints, mugs, t-shirts, all that stuff. So, and outside of that, we are doing giveaways, movie posters and such. That's more of a Corey thing. So, but yeah, it's a good time.
Corey's coming to town. I got a horror movie mask to give away. We got movie posters to give away. All kinds of fun memorabilia that actually, goes with movies and TV shows. So that'll be fun. And the merch stuff is available. So that's fun. Patreon's a good time, man. It's basically foreplay. Nobody likes to just jump into fucking. You know what I mean? Like, you got to warm it up, Chris. And the best way to do that is on Patreon.
That's what I was born to do. So with that said, let's get into the cast of 1985's Teen Wolf. This film stars Michael J. Fox as Scott Howard, James Hampton as Harold Howard, Susan Ursitti as Boof, Jerry Levine as Siles, Lorie Griffin as Pamela, and I do have to give special mentions to, I think it's Jay Tarses as Coach Finstock, and Mark Holton as Chubby. In the 80s, if you needed a fat kid, like adolescent into, because he looks 30 years old in this goddamn movie playing a high school kid, but if you needed like a chubby dude in a movie, he was your guy. He showed up in all the movies. I think he was in like the Pee Wee Herman movies. Mm-hmm. He was in this. Like anytime you needed a chubby dude, he was your guy. And the Coach Finstock in this movie, like basically I watched this movie and went, oh, that's me. If I was like a coach / gym teacher.
Dude, he's such a piece of shit. Everybody in this school who's an adult sucks.
You were correct.
That's why our generation's so fucked up, is these were our teachers.
Yes. Yep.
Armando was like, Coach, Father Tony touched me again, and Coach is like, yeah, I'm all booked up here, guy. Why don't you why don't you go to the rectory? Probably shouldn't say that, huh? Maybe you should just go to confession. Go to confession for your sins.
You know what? Go get me some salt for my egg that I'm eating on the sideline.
Come on, get me some salt.
Dude, he even peels the egg right on the court and is dropping the shell on the court.
I love this dude. I love this character in this movie. He's fantastic. And his 3 rules for life.
Never get less than 12 hours sleep. Never play cards with a guy who's got the same first name as a city. And never go near a lady who's got a tattoo of a dagger on her body.
That's all fair.
It's a good start. At least if those rules of advice should be given to like Naomi from Showgirls. That's the only way those apply. Scott is not on the trajectory to need those 3 rules. That's insane.
No, not at all. But let's dive into this thing, because spoiler alert, I to this day love this movie. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this throughout the years. It's so ridiculous. And going back to, I think the review that we did last week for Sister Act, this is, again, you get the guy in the room pitching like he's a teenager and he turns into a werewolf and it makes him amazing at basketball. Like, I need more of these movies in my life now, like being made now. And the sad thing is, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, ridiculous metaphors for going through puberty
Yes.
is basically 80s film.
You were correct.
Like, oh, kids are weirded out because they start growing a little thin mustache and it looks weird and acne pops up and they're like, don't look at me. I know how we can translate that to kids. Werewolf.
100%.
Coke in the 80s was the shit.
Yes, it was pure. It was pure for sure. But this movie opens with Scott Howard. He's an unathletic, not very popular high school student. He's playing basketball terribly along with his terrible team. And they get their ass kicked. And Scott goes to his coach after the game to attempt to quit the team because he's going through changes. And this is what I love because, Michael J. Fox is like, coach, you told me if there was anything like as far as basketball goes, on or off the court, I can come and see you. And the dude's got nothing but like KFC shit all over his desk.
As he shaves.
And the minute something kind of serious pops up, like I'm going through changes, coach, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I ain't got time for you guys.
Boy, I'd sure like to help you, but I'm really tapped out this month.
Terrible mentor. And by the way, pretty much every coach, the coaches at your school don't ever want to hear about they're there to coach athletics, which means shut up and play the sport and be like, oh! They want fucking wild animals. Yes. They don't want emotions and changes and fuck that.
Yeah. And by the way, you should probably book an appointment for your local doctor. If you pull out a chest hair and it's your first one, because Michael J. Fox is like completely bald on his body. If your chest hair is this goddamn long, you should probably go see somebody for that.
My chest hair grew out.
And not talk to your dirty basketball coach.
Yeah. That's definitely the thing. Like if I'm pulling chest hairs and I'm like, I'm going through some weird changes, that guy, even though he probably has some disgusting body hair and can empathize with you, is still not the guy I'm going to talk to.
Exactly. Well, and he goes through, I like how they get right into the thing, right? This is right at the beginning. Pulls out the chest hair. He goes to his dad's hardware store that he owns and he's working there. The kid's blowing the dog whistle and he can hear the dog whistle. And I gotta do this. Don't do that for the dog whistle kid.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Hi, parents, kids. Literally, this goes for anybody. First of all, if you're at a store, especially a hardware store where most of the goods are covered in like a thin film of grease, don't put anything in your mouth. If you do put something in your mouth, you have now agreed to purchase said item. You don't just spit it out and go, this doesn't work, and walk out the fuck. What are we doing here? If I'm Michael J. Fox, I'm like, first of all, you're buying the goddamn dog whistle and fucking hit the bricks. And if he doesn't, I'm just beating the shit out of the kid because there are rules, okay? There are rules in society. Don't put store goods in your mouth and then put them back on the shelf.
Yeah, you're not Ariana Grande. Like, calm down with that shit. And also, I think you are being a little hard on the kid, though, because it gives it away that he's special needs when he takes a dog whistle out of his mouth and is like, this is broken. Yeah, you're not a dog, dumb fuck.
Did the sign just say whistles?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it said dog whistle. And why are they selling dog whistles at the hardware store?
I think there's a backstory here we're unaware of where this kid is being actually kidnapped. And he grabbed a rape whistle and what he thought was a rape whistle. And that's why he's like sitting on the ground, hiding in a fucking aisle in a hardware store, just blowing this thing incessantly, trying to get help. And it doesn't work. So finally he's like, fuck it, I guess I'm going to go get molested. Like, this fucking whistle doesn't work. I'm over it.
It's broken.
Michael J. Fox in this film has a thing for Pamela, who is in the school play. She's dating the super stud basketball player from like another high school. And so there's the setup there. And there's also, we see Siles and Lewis. These are Scott's two friends who apparently can't buy beer. They can't buy kegs of beer from the local liquor store guy because the old guy's a curmudgeon and he's always asking for ID. So on the way to a party at like Stiles' house, I guess, Scott goes into the liquor store to buy a keg of beer from the old dude. And he basically turns red-eyed and growls at him and says, "I'd like a keg of beer, please."
Yeah, he turns into fucking Pazuzu. It's like, what the shit is happening, dude? I'd give him whatever he wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I like that the idea because they can't buy beer from this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Stiles' idea is, here's a water pistol and put it in your jacket like you're holding up the place. But that's your idea, is to pretend that like you're holding up the place.
And technically you're not robbing him because you paid for the beer.
Yeah.
Stiles is not going to be my defense attorney. That's all I'm saying.
No. Stiles does, however, need to go to law school and learn some laws.
He's insane. Well, I don't think he does, because these are pretty much the judges we have appointed nowadays.
Well, to Stiles' credit, he was the first amongst many now. He's the guy on TikTok now, like, let me tell you why you don't have to pay taxes and the government can go fuck themselves. Like, he's that guy with no basis, no real information.
Between this and the party scene in a minute, he's basically young Jeffrey Epstein.
100%.
Like, that's the trajectory
100%.
He is on. He's a marketing whiz. He's fucking crazy. And
everything is a Ponzi scheme.
The whole party is just him taking advantage. Like, hey, girls, get naked with the guy's name you got paired in your fucking hand. Like, are you crazy? Yeah. And here's my problem. I got this one issue, and really my own issue in the teen werewolf movie. Stiles says earlier, they won't let me come to the party if I don't bring the beer, which implies that Stiles is not a very popular person at school. Right?
Yeah.
Because beer or not, popular kids are getting invited to the party. Even the moderately popular ones can show up without that, like, attachment. Like, you can come, but you better bring beer. So we cut then to Stiles at the party, holding fucking court.
Yes.
And I mean, I've been to a lot of high school parties, especially back in these days. No. This did not happen. There were not bras and underwears and tied together trying to get out of it games. I mean, we did the whole, 2 minutes in the closet or 7 minutes in heaven or whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, like him holding court here and like running this whole like party all of a sudden, it's like, well, the whole cake thing didn't even need to be said. You can't get a cake of beer and you were tasked to bring beer. That's all it needs to be. You not being invited unless you bring the beer is a totally different connotation to the character of Stiles, which we see as the movie goes on is not true. That's just, he's not a dork. He's not somebody everybody's like, he's a popular guy. Everybody clearly looks to him for the fucking party. And if they're not, why the fuck aren't you?
You were right.
And so we get to the party, to Corey's point. We get a bowl of like, I wrote down some things. And it's all like, girls, take your shit off. Guys, watch the girls take their shit off. Like, that's everything that's in the bowl. That's all it is. And Boof and Scotty get put in the closet. They start making out. And he gets a little too aggressive because he's turning into the Wolfie and scratches the shit out of her back. She walks out and we see like her shirt's all tattered and torn. but this party is like the 80s version of Double Dare. Like this.
Oh yeah, they're eating
What
Jello
this
out of
was.
shit and rolling around in whipped cream. It totally is Double Dare.
Yeah. But after the party, Scott gets home. He's all sweaty and he runs into the bathroom and his wolf change kicks into high gear. And his dad is concerned. And when Scott opens the door as a werewolf, his dad is also standing there as a werewolf. And he explains that it runs in the family.
You knew about this and you didn't tell me?
I was hoping I wouldn't have to. Sometimes it skips a generation.
Yeah, I have a question
Sure.
because I'm not a father.
Yes.
When Howard's knocking at the door, and he says, "Scott, open up the door."
Yeah.
Scott says, "No, you don't want to see this." And then he says, "Scott, Howard, this is your father. Open up the door." Did you not think Scott knew who was talking to him the whole time?
I can honestly say, as a parent, this sentence has never come out of my mouth.
Yeah, because they know who you are.
Yes.
That just like this is your father. Open the door, and he's like, "Okay, you asked for it." I'd be like, "Hey, Dad, no. By the way, I know it's you. I've heard your voice now for 16 to 17 years of my life. I'm pretty sure I know what you sound like."
Yes.
By the way,
exactly.
who else would be in the door worried about me running into the bathroom? There's nobody else in this house. You ate Mom, or she got shot eating chickens, or whatever the fuck happened.
Well, and again, not for nothing, but Scott gets pissed here. He was like, "You're a werewolf. You didn't fucking tell me. Like, you knew. Well, I thought it was going to, sometimes it skips a generation. Well, obviously it fucking didn't. And you couldn't tell that your son was going through things. There's a kid blowing a dog whistle and he's covering his ears and he's losing his shit. He's constantly sweaty and like, on the verge of turning into a werewolf at all times at the beginning of this movie. As a father, you're not looking at, as a werewolf father, you're not looking at some of the signs that maybe you went through when you went through that change and going, "Hey guy, I think something might be happening to you."
This isn't a your dick might get hard in an inopportune time kind of conversation that can wait and wait and wait and is a little awkward. This is a you're going to turn into a whole ass wolf man. Maybe we should set some prior, like, you don't have to eat people. If I turned into a werewolf, that's the first thing I would think is like, fuck, like, do I gotta eat like liver and like human hearts and shit now to stay alive? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things going through my head at this point.
Don't believe all that stuff you see in the movies. Werewolves are people, just like anyone else.
Well,
but none of that's a concern for Howard. He's just like, man, Boof was DTF. Maybe you should talk to her.
Well, and the next day they talk a little bit more about like, you know, how to live with being a werewolf and yada yada. But Scott then goes to school. He's obviously out of sorts, right? And in class, he's going up to the blackboard to solve a problem, and he starts to change into the werewolf, and he runs out to go to the bathroom,
which is a boner metaphor.
100%.
Great boner metaphor, by the way.
I thought I had problems when I got called up to the blackboard with a hard on. This dude's turned into a fucking dog in front of the class.
I'll tell you this straight up. I walked up to the blackboard a lot with hairy palms like that motherfucker. I'll tell you that. Right meow.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Okay, I found my second problem with the Teen Wolfman movie. The fact that the day after he finds out he's a wolf, he goes to school and they're teaching him about Romulus and Remus and the whole mythological story behind Rome and being raised by a wolf. And then English class is Thomas Wolfe.
By Thomas Wolfe. Wolf? Wolf?
We saw him turn. He's a fucking werewolf. We're there, guy.
Wolves and things.
Yeah. But every time somebody says wolf, he's like, bleh, bleh, bleh.
Like, if you say the word wolf, it makes you change into the werewolf.
Yeah. I don't. Just all of that was so on the nose. And you didn't even need it because the scene where he goes to the blackboard almost has nothing to do with a wolf. He's just walking up there to write something and he's like, oops, something came up, and he runs out of the bathroom or runs out to go to the bathroom.
Oops, my Lee press-on nails are popping out. I gotta get the fuck out of here. But Scotty then, after this, tells Siles that he's a werewolf. He changes in front of him. And Siles immediately goes into business mode. Siles is like, oh my God, we could take advantage of it. Don't you see I already design my nice shirts? Like, what are you looking at, dick nose? Like, these are the shirts that I design in my bedroom. So now I want to design werewolf fucking merch.
See, what I do is I take 2 pairs of sunglasses, I break them in half, and then I glue the opposite sets together, and then I look cool. You want to buy some?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, Siles is off the fucking chain and is probably the most exploitive character I've ever seen in a movie.
Absolutely. And not for nothing, we need to get Siles' number. I wonder what he's doing today. He needs to run our merch store. Because he's making fuckloads of money in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And it's just writing with like a shitty wolf drawing that doesn't even look like Michael J. Fox's wolf. It's just like, hey, I'm a wolf.
Dude.
He's selling like wolf fade in the back with like looking at the moon, and there's another wolf off in the distance like it's an Olin Mills picture.
Can we? I just want to touch on this. When he finally gets the Wolfmobile, the wolf that's painted like the profile wolf thing, it's fucking awful. It's so bad. Like, yeah. I don't know if he's doing the drawings himself or he's like hired that out to a third party. And he's like, dude, just give me a nice, like, cartoon looking wolf. And they were like, ta-da. And he was like, fucking dope. This looks awesome.
Looky here. Hey, Surf's Up?
At the high school's next basketball game, Scotty reveals that, you know, I'm a wolf because there's a dog pile for the ball. And there's a lot going on in this scene. So there's a dog pile for the ball. He's underneath the dog pile. He comes out elbows swinging, and he's the wolf now. And he takes the ball. Everybody's in stunned silence. And he takes the ball, and now he's dribbling between his legs. He's basically turned into like Kobe Bryant. And then after he takes the ball down the court and dunks it, everyone completely accepts the fact that their classmate just turned into a goddamn dog on the court. And he's all of a sudden an all-American basketball player.
Hell yes.
Between this and fucking Air Bud, which I'm on Air Bud 7 right now, and it's still, the franchise holds up. The continuity's fucking incredible. But between this and Air Bud, just let dogs play basketball, man.
That's it.
They fucking rock, dude.
100%. But no, nobody questions it. He's a wolf for all of 5 seconds in front of people, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And then he does his like killer crossover, takes it down the court, dunks it, spins it on his finger, and then hands it to the ref. And everybody's like, yeah, fucking wolf time immediately. And then they all go out and party afterwards at the local, I don't know, Five and Dime or wherever they go. They go get malteds. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're a wolf. This is so great. Dude, I'm sorry. If you okay, here's my problem with the teen werewolf movie. So you turn into a goddamn wolf at a sporting event. And this just goes to show you, as long as you're good at sports, nobody gives a shit what you look like, what you do off the court. What this motherfucker turned into a werewolf, and they're just like, dude, how long have you been a werewolf? This is awesome. Do you want to have sex with me?
Yeah, they were very unsure about the werewolf right up until they won a basketball game. So that's weird. Yeah, the normalization of it's nice. It's like, why can't we do that now? Like, they accepted him as a werewolf, and we're like, oh my god, he's going to come out as gay.
that was your concern.
Yeah, that's your concern. This dude's a fucking wolf.
What can I say?
Please don't be gay, but you're a werewolf. That's cool. I can't make cool t-shirts if you're gay, but I can make really cool t-shirts and make money if you're a wolf.
By the way, have you ever met Liberace? Yes, you fucking can.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All of a sudden, Siles is making Scotty wear like gold capes to school and shit.
Siles might get eaten in his garage. And he's like, just don't be gay.
You were correct.
I'm unsure of this wolf thing, but you just found my bag of weed.
Yes.
How can we market this?
I'm surprised Siles didn't put a leash on Scott and go, now we're going to steal all the weed in the area.
Yeah, just started throwing him fucking milk bones and shit. This should have actually veered off in a different way, where all of a sudden Scott's like wolf cop, and he's out like hunting missing children with his nose, and Siles is his partner.
What if he can smell crime?
Scott then uses his new wolf powers to become popular at school. Somehow becoming a wolf gets him good grades. He gets a role in the school play because, wolves and things. And he bangs Pamela after a dress rehearsal. And this is what I don't get. Okay. I know you're unpopular.
Yes,
right?
It was doggy style.
I
had the same thought, bro. It was doggy style.
This is my whole thing. He was unpopular, so gross. Like, he gets rejected at the party by Pamela and yada yada yada. And now he turns into a wolf. And now you're like, okay, cool, I want to have sex with him. But I don't want to have sex with him. I will only have sex with you when you're a dog. Like, that's what we're doing here. Like, Pamela needs therapy. Something's going on with Pamela in this movie because she's like, cool, you're a wolf, extremely hairy. I just bang it. Like, let's do this. That's crazy.
Pamela's the greatest creature on the planet. She's an opportunistic slut, which makes her my favorite person. I love you. You want to be close to greatness, and you will do anything to do that. And to me, that's fantastic because I can fake greatness. I can't actually achieve it, but I can fake it long enough to get in them jeans. Get in them Jordashes. You know what I'm saying?
I think Kanye wrote a song about this a while back.
Motherfucker stole bars from me.
Is it possible this story is true?
Talk about being opportunistic. Siles here uses this as an opportunity to make money selling merch. He sets up a goddamn kiosk in the middle of the high school. And he's just got fistfuls of money. And people are just throwing money. Like, give me that awful looking werewolf shirt that you pressed in your fucking garage.
Even Pamela couldn't make that piece of shit look good. She wore it all tight and shit and was trying to like stick her like shoulders back so her titties were out, and it still was just like ill-fitting.
Yeah.
Like, he got all his shirts printed at Temu.com.
You were correct.
It's not all, roses and puppy dogs and ice cream for Scott, because he starts getting shit from the principal and he doesn't know why. I mean, outside of the fact that he's a fucking werewolf.
Vice principal. Vice. They're the hard-ons in every movie. It's never the actual principal.
It's always the guy with the illusion of power.
Exactly.
But so he's
just like Pamela. I've been saying it for weeks.
So he's getting shit from him.
She hates wolves. She's going to decide next week she's a wolf. I don't understand.
His buddy Lewis starts avoiding him. And we never get, again, outside of the fact that his like best friend is turning into a werewolf and is now popular. Lewis just doesn't want to talk to him, but they never really address it for the rest of the movie. They just say like, what's wrong with Lewis? And everybody goes, do you want to do Surfing USA on top of the Wolfmobile?
It's like, fuck yeah, I do. One of my best friends is scared of me, but you want me to surf on top of an exploitive bus you just bought with my money? Fuck yeah, I do.
But this, again, this is an issue that I don't necessarily have with the movie, but I have with Scott's teammates. Because everybody's super happy. We're winning basketball games, and that's all that matters. And we saw them prior to Scott turning into a werewolf. It's not like they were a 500 team. They were kind of mediocre. They were losing 75-12. Like, that's how bad this team was. And his teammates now, because they're on a win streak, and Scotty's just, he's doing his fucking Dr. J thing, and he's breaking backboards. And his teammates now, who were and are terrible, then become jealous of Scott because Scott's a ball hog. Yeah, because you guys are fucking awful. One of you motherfuckers is eating food actively on the court.
Well, he started doing that because he knew he wasn't getting the ball. In fairness,
he
Chubb wasn't eating beforehand.
Listen, Chubb had a whole goddamn mini mart in his fucking locker. I'm pretty sure he was eating on the court before. We just didn't see
now
it.
He's eating an apple. This is progress. Chubb is the only one with a storyline here or a plot arc. He's the only one getting a full fucking arc here.
Yes, but now they're all pissed. There should only really be one person that's pissed, because there's only one okay player prior to the werewolf situation. Everybody else is awful.
Yeah,
and now they're like,
Brad's going to Hoosiers.
Yes,
after this movie to fucking granny shots and free throws in.
But everybody else is like, he's a ball hog, and it's like, you were losing, but you touched the ball twice in a game, so you were happy about that. You're winning, and your touches went from 2 to 0. Are you really upset about this?
Here's my thing. I wouldn't care about the touching of the ball so much if he wasn't stealing it actively from me.
Okay, that might be a little bit of an issue.
That's where I'm like, okay, you hairy-faced fuck. Like, you need to slow. Exactly. I am fully capable of dribbling past another human being, which, by the way, when you're human, you can't fucking do. And you're the point guard. So maybe relax with your fucking judgment, Wolfie. Chill the fuck out.
I know.
After this is where we get the Wolfmobile scene, and they do the whole Surfing USA thing on top of the Wolfmobile, and Scott's dad sees him catching some waves on Wolfmobile, and they have a talk when he gets home about him, the basketball team not liking him. And his dad says that Scott's issues with the vice principal are his fault, because he made him piss his pants when they were in high school, because he wanted to bang his mom, and he turned into a wolf and made him piss his pants or whatever.
And Michael J. Fox looked at the script and was like, is this Back to the Future? Why is everybody trying to bang mom again? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, at least he's not trying to bang his mom in this. So that's good. That's good. That was a step up. He goes, okay, they bring up banging and my mom. Am I banging my mom in this one? No? Okay, cool. I'm in.
I would, to this day, still take Leah Thompson out for a lovely steak dinner.
As would I. But the spring dance then comes up here. Scott shows up, stag, because Boof wants to go with him, but she only wants to go with him and not him as the wolf. So he's like, I got to give the people what they want. So he shows up to the spring dance stag where he does some wolf ass dance, a lot of this. Okay, I love the 80s and we
organized choreographed dance.
We love we both love the ideas in the movies and how ridiculous they were, but how fun these movies were. The only one issue, like, why does everybody have to have a goddamn dance? It doesn't matter what 80s movie it is. The nerd turned cool guy has to show up at the dance at school and do his do. Everybody does my dance. Every single fucking movie. That's the only thing that kind of bothers me. And by the way, he's also doing like pirouettes and shit. Listen, have him moonwalk. Have him, whatever the popular dances are at the time, I can guarantee you, little pirouettes were not the dance craze of the 80s.
These scenes are stupid in every fucking movie. They are just dumb. I hate them so much. If this ever happened to me, I would literally be like, fuck this fucking school, and walk out. Nothing would make me want to start a career of drugs and whoring myself out under a bridge like organized choreographed dance at a fucking school formal. Eat a dick.
Yes. Well, and the only one not having a good time here is Mick, Pamela's boyfriend, because he's angry because Scott's the wolf and he's antagonizing him throughout this whole thing. But
in fairness, he did fuck his girlfriend.
Well, yes, and as a wolf, gross. But he never really does anything to him. He waits here until because Scott and Boof go out and she makes out with him. He turns into himself and not the wolf. And when they come back in and they're dancing, Mick waits because he's smart, because he doesn't want to get eaten. He waits until Scott's not the wolf, and he goes and knocks the shit out of him.
Yeah,
because like you banged my girlfriend with your wolf dick.
You've kind of had it coming for a minute, Scott. And
yes.
To be in all fairness, you're being a royal asshole.
Yes, and Scott then gets up, attacks Mick, and he rips off his shirt, and then he leaves the dance. And this is where Scott runs into the vice principal, who threatens him with expulsion until Scott's dad steps in and then makes him piss his pants again by growling in his face.
So this is one of the things that has always pissed me off in almost every movie. Because, look, I hate fucking kids. Notoriously on this show.
You should.
5 to 6 years of fucking despising children on this show.
Yes.
So with that, I can't stand adults in minimal fucking power positions that fucking go after kids. Like Scott's targeted by this fucking vice principal. And it's all because you wanted to fuck his dead mom? Like, what the fuck is the matter with you, dude? Get over yourself.
Yeah, because his dad turned into a wolf and made you piss your pants.
Yeah.
That sounds like a you problem.
Totally. Like, you're a fucking chump, dude. And by the way, she would have cheated on you with Howard if she married you, because you're a fucking cuck in a plaid jacket and a pink tie.
You were right.
Stop worrying about Scott. Start worrying about the prostate issue you have that is making you just piss yourself constantly. Go to a doctor.
But now Scott is like, oh man, I should totally be myself and things because wolf knowledge or whatever. So during the dress rehearsal for the play and the championship basketball game, Scott refuses to wolf out or wolfie or wolf boy, whatever he does here.
We need to see the wolf, so wolf out, huh? Wolf up, wolf it, whatever you do. Pronto, amigo?
The guy who runs the play gets really pissed, and he's like, yeah, we need you to be the wolf to be in this play. No wolf, no play. Cool story, bro. But we get to
you mean I don't get one line?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no. I don't get one line in the school play. Darn it.
But we get to the basketball game, right? The championship game, and they're playing against the Mick in his high school, and they're awesome and yada yada. So there is so much going on in this basketball game. The very first shot we get is in the first half. Right. I would assume towards the beginning of the first half.
I'd hope so.
And they are so tired because Scott isn't there. He shows up late.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why he shows up late. Like, I'm not going to be the wolf and I'm going to show up late. Like, fucking slow your roll, kid.
Yeah, it's like the wolf is making me be conceited and egotistical, and I need to stop. So,
And
as
apparently
Scott,
on time.
I'm going to show up to the championship game 20 minutes late. So it's still all fucking about me. And then everybody will wonder, where's the wolf?
Yeah. So he's got to make his grand entrance. But before he does, they show the one good kid, 23, whatever his name is, right?
Brad.
He gets the inbound pass, and he's so exhausted. I don't know if you noticed the tired ass pass that he passes to Chubb. So he's like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, they're so exhausted in the fucking first 5-10 minutes of this game. They can't even fucking pass the ball. Like, you're not even talking about chest pass, bounce pass. They can't pass the ball for shit right now.
Well, in fairness to Brad, he does keep standing on the train tracks when the train named Mick is just running him the fuck over. They're playing very different sports right now.
How the fuck does Mick not get tossed from this game? Okay? There's fucking, they're literally, like, they created a rule for this in football called targeting. Okay? Mick is literally launching himself into every... First of all, you don't have to do this. They're a bad basketball team.
But I don't understand.
You beat them with Scott, not as the Wolf. It's like 72-12 earlier in the season. You could just play basketball instead of like rumble ball or whatever the fuck it is you're playing here.
You were correct.
Everybody there wants the Wolf, right? They're chanting for the Wolf. And even the team who has been giving him shit the whole season for being the Wolf and being really good, they now want him, they want Wolfie in the game. But he says, nope, not going to do it. And all of a sudden, the Wolf Beavers are going to make it a game. They're good now because they're playing as a team with probably the worst grouping of athletes on a basketball court in terms of shooting. I know I'm not an actor, okay? I know we typically don't make fun of actors. However, it doesn't take a lot of research. Even in 1985, you could watch an NBA game back then, okay? But you don't shoot a basketball like this, okay? It's you're just coming up here. It's all in the wrist, guy. Nobody can shoot a fucking basketball, but all of a sudden, these are all going in. Granny shots and all. And they make this thing a fucking game.
Yeah, speaking as a skinny guy, Scott has a thing like where he shoots the ball like this, and then he just pushes it and like jumps off to the side when he does that.
Like a shot put.
That's not how we shoot a basketball. Skinnier guys take the ball way back here past their head because we need the extra momentum because we lack the strength to shoot it proper. So we take it back here and fucking spin it with our hands.
You guys got the Wayman Tisdale going.
Exactly. Like, again, research, bro. Maybe you spent too much time researching Wolves. I don't know. Less time researching basketball, but yeah, that would have paid off a lot. And this whole the whole thing, like, this team at the beginning of this wouldn't have qualified for the Special Olympics. And I don't mean that as a slight towards the Special Olympics basketball teams, because those dudes can play and they put up more than 5 fucking points in a game.
Yes.
These guys can't. So now all of a sudden, without the Wolf, Michael J. Fox turns into Jason Williams, and every pass is behind the back, and fucking
oh, dude,
white chocolates out here just dishing straight dimes. Get the fuck out.
I was gonna say he has quite a few white chocolate moments in this game, but regardless, they make this a game. It's a 1-point game.
If you have the strength to do behind the back, running full speed behind the back passes, you have the strength to shoot a basketball the right fucking way.
Yes, exactly. But it's a 1-point game at the end. And at the buzzer, Mick, I would say Mick fouls Scotty here, but Mick abuses Scotty and gets the foul called on him. And he gets tossed, even though it's the end of the game. So whatever.
Dude, Mick's freaking treating Scotty like they fucking did at the end of Lucas. And I mean, not in the scene where he gets smashed, but like how they treated Corey Haim like Offset with Charlie Sheen. Yeah. You know what I mean?
God,
it's what they did. I didn't do it.
Oh, but.
You can't say Schrape on fucking YouTube. So what do you have to do? You got to fucking mime stuff.
Oh, I don't want that. I don't think you can mime stuff.
Well, I live in. I thought this was America.
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America?
Scotty here goes to the free throw line, and he's got to make both free throws, and the Beaver Wolves can win the game. But Mick gets tossed. Scotty's taking the free throws, and Mick is just at the fucking baseline.
They let Mick do whatever he wants in this game.
Dude, just eyeballing him the whole time. And the ref never goes, hey, guy, go to the fucking or fuck the bench. Get the fuck out of the gym. You're murdering people on the court.
Yeah, this referee crew is blind as fuck.
It's like
they
a
should
WWE
be on the real
crew.
They should be on the real Love Is Blind. Not this fake shit where you set us up thinking just like blind people are dating. That should be the real show, is just blind people like feeling face and be like, oh, fuck that. That would be amazing. And this whole ref crew could be on the first season because they're fucking terrible. Ray Charles has no idea where Mick has wandered off to. And so he just sits there. Like, I'm surprised he's not like waving a fucking foam finger or something in Michael J. Fox's face trying to influence the shot.
You were correct.
Scotty makes the first free throw. Right?
Yeah.
And Mick's still like,
Yeah.
You're tossed out of the game. That was your fifth foul. Michael J. Fox made fun of you the foul before that and was like, yeah, you're in foul trouble. Dikembe, you're screwed. So then we roll over to this one. It's the end of the game. Mick uses his final foul. Mick's out of the game. So even if we're going to overtime, which championship games usually do, you don't just stop at a tie, you're out.
Yeah.
So your whole disappointed face should have already been happening.
Yeah.
Because you did just cost your team the fucking championship. Because there's nobody. We already said they don't pass to the black guy. Who the fuck else on that team is going to score? The only person I saw on that team score was Mick.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Scotty gets up there. He makes both his free throws. They win the game. The Beaver Wolves celebrate, and everybody rushes the court. And this is where we get the person zipping up their pants in the background at the end of the game as everybody celebrates. And I think this has been debunked. However, it was, I think it was again, we don't do research here. I think this was a woman. It was something and how it was shot. I was like, bro, I don't know. I know this has been like debunked. This motherfucker is zipping up her pants or his pants or whoever the hell it is, because we only get to see from the waist down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like,
it doesn't mean anything salacious was happening. It just means they stood up and were like, oh shit, my fucking fly's undone. They didn't know they were going to get caught.
My fly's undone. My whole shit's just wide open. Well, and in the editing room, how do you not go, fuck, we can't keep that. How about we just zoom this in just a little bit more, just so there's no fucking random person zipping up their pants in the background.
It's the 80s. Who gives a shit? That's what they said.
They were like, Dude, we're keeping that. We're fucking keeping that totally.
Dude, they're like, you know what they said when they made this movie? They're like, have you seen what those fucking sickos at Disney have been working on? They're doing this movie called Little Mermaid where all the castles look like penises. Like, leave the fucking button fly person in. Who cares?
Where's our castle penis? We need our own castle penis.
Everybody needs a castle penis.
The clown has no penis.
This movie's fantastic. Like, again, going back to the sister act of it all, it's a fun movie. It's an interesting take on puberty. It's an interesting take on a lot of things. But it's just like this fun, silly, ridiculous movie that you could just sit, watch. It's an hour and a half, in and out, do the thing. And listen, I don't give a shit. I'll watch anything Michael J. Fox is in. Like, he's fucking fantastic. I love the guy.
Yeah, there are some contradictions here. Like, Boof doesn't want the wolf, but then they do the wolf dance, and she's like, I'm a sucker for fucking guys in white suits that can dance, and then she picks up the wolf. And then Scott's like, everybody wanted the wolf, but I got some pussy tonight, so I can just go back to being Scott, and everybody's okay with it now. Like, I like the fact they don't beat you over the head with the message, which we always talk about they have to do in movies today.
Yeah.
Because apparently audiences are just fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So the message is there. It's clear. Be yourself and changes and just stay true to who you are. Cool. Great. That's the way the message should be delivered. I love that part of it. Some of the weird contradictions with the characters, and again, they weren't writing Dances with Wolves. This isn't trying to be fucking Casablanca. They're trying to make a fucking teen movie about werewolves. So run with it, bro. Like, I couldn't agree with you more. The movie still holds up. It's still fun. It's funny. It's dumb. There's no point to it, really. Like, your life doesn't get improved if you watch it. It's not like it's Space Jam where you're like, oh man, R. Kelly taught me to fly and piss on little girls. Like, I learned something today. So there's not much inspiration behind the movie, but it's still a fun, good 80s throwback. And Michael J. Fox is always a fucking treat. I don't care what he's in.
Yeah. No, he's fantastic. I love that guy. I'll watch pretty much anything he's in. But yeah, that's all I got. I think this is a good one. This was requested by Jim on Patreon. So thanks, Jim, for this one, for this throwback in the way back machine. So I, again, love the movie, but I got nothing else for this. You?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently not.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go practice my wolf dance. I gotta go to a wedding reception, so I gotta practice my wolf dance.
You gotta get the,
because I know once I started, the whole crowd is gonna be like, "Oh shit, what's this hip new dance?"
100%, 100%. I think you should do it, and report back to us.
Hell yes.
For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1985's Teen Wolf. Ow.
Ow. Ow.